and I'm excited to be here with you today on this special episode all about community. Now, we're actually doing a community building series, and I have had the honor of interviewing some really incredible women who are building community all over the place, whether it's in person, online, and we're really figuring out what it looks like for us as women to not just be in community, but let community be in us. And I was actually looking some stuff up for this series. And what I found and what studies are showing is that for us as women, when it comes to solving problems, we are actually meant to, and we should seek out connection, collaboration, and community. Now, I'm a community builder myself, and what's really interesting is this intuitive way that we were designed, this divine way that we were designed, that we're literally created for community. And I still see women trying to figure out business, trying to figure out life, trying to figure out marriage, motherhood, makeup, like all the M's, I guess. Apparently I'm just talking about M's, but they're trying to figure all of this stuff out alone. And I get it, right? We can actually be really hurt in community. And I don't know about you, but I have for sure been hurt by community. I've been hurt by other women. And I've been hurt by men as well. But I think for me, there is that sisterhood wound from the past that I've had to really work on healing. And for us as women, when we get into community, it can be vulnerable and it can be risky. And especially if we've been hurt in the past by other women. In my journey, what I've actually have found is that actually the more that I've healed and the more that I've grown, the more that I have let go of some of those stories that were no longer serving me from my past, and have actually began to recreate a new story and actually understand the divine design of how I was made and the strengths that I was given. I don't fall into comparison. I don't fall into this catty gossip and competition. And as I have learned to do that, the people around me have changed, but now in healthy community, in healthy relationships, in healthy friendships, all of that other stuff actually doesn't exist anymore. Now, for us as women, again, we were literally designed for community. Studies show that that is literally the way that we were created. And I think it takes a risk, like I was saying, that for us as women, it takes a risk to not just get in community, but allow community to get in us. It's vulnerable, it's exposing. We have to actually be willing to say, gosh, like I'm invested in you and you can be invested in me. I'm going to open up and I'm going to let you into my life, or I'm going to open up and I'm going to let you into my business. I'm going to open up and I'm going to let you into the places where I don't have it all together, as well as the places where I'm killing it, and you can come alongside me and celebrate, and it's not going to make you feel bad about yourself. And so this is what we're actually seeing in healthy community and in healthy connection, and in healthy relationships. Maybe you've heard me say this before, maybe you haven't if you're new here, but I'm not interested in just creating community. I'm actually really interested in creating healthy community. And I'm really interested, like one of my hearts, one of my mission is to create big people. And to be able to have a culture where big people feel at home, it not only means that I have to grow, but it actually means that the people around me have to grow and that they have to be willing to step into that bigness. And I love this concept of taking up space, of becoming this, not a strong woman. I think we actually get it backwards. Like, I'm not interested in being a strong woman, like that has to like muscle through and like hustle culture and like this strong woman, independent woman type of a thing. I'm actually interested more in being a woman of strength. And I'm interested more not in codependency, but in interdependence, in this place that says, I'm not needy, but I actually am choosing to have you in my life. And I am choosing to be surrounded by these certain people and these types of people. And again, when we get into community, it can be vulnerable. It can be, like I said, exposing. Gosh, when we get around other big people, if we haven't necessarily like worked on our identity and how we were created and the things that we love, it can be really, really easy to fall into comparison. It can be really, really easy to fall into even looking at social media and, oh my gosh, like I'm seeing the highlight reel and look at her, they're always on vacation and they're always just doing something amazing. And oh, like my content isn't as good as that. And I just need to do the whatever. And look, her business is growing faster than mine and all of this different comparison stuff. But when we're actually more interested, like I am, in creating and being a woman of strength, of being a big person and taking up space, we can let go of the false narrative that when we take up space, that it actually takes up space from other people. Because that's not even how the universe works. Like, here's the thing. The universe is ever expanding. And as the universe expands, it literally is creating space for more galaxies, for more stars to shine, for more planets. That is literally the law of the universe, that as it expands, it literally creates space for more people for more stars to shine, right? So now if you think about this for you, as you are taking up space, as you expand into this next version of you, as you expand into this woman of strength and into this next level of expansion, you actually don't take up space from anybody else. You actually create space for more people to get big around you. You become a permission bearer. You become this, like the one that says, hey, I'm actually willing to like go first or to go ahead of you to take up space so that you can also take up space. I know for me, if I would have never taken up space to create what started as a little seed of an idea with Business and Bubbly, it would have never created the space for the incredible women that we now have that are leading communities. And it's amazing to see, like, what started as this little idea because I was desiring like-minded women in business where I could show up fully as myself, loving marketing and social media and growth hacking and funnels and all of the fun things like that, and connecting with other women where, like, sometimes some of my other groups, which it's okay, I love them, but sometimes my mom groups, like, I get to show up fully as who I am as a mom, and I get to let them off the hook. They don't have to expect of them to understand what I'm talking about. SOPs or KPIs or OTOs or, right? Business language, business lingo. And that's okay because I get to let them off the hook and they get to be fully themselves as who they are as a mom. And that's just as a facet of who I am, right? Like as we grow and expand, I think we get to show different facets of who we are. Just like a diamond has multiple facets, different parts of it that as the light hits, different parts of it get to shine differently. And I think that that's how us as women, that's how we get to be. So when we are interested in not only being a woman of strength, being this big person, stepping into that expansion, like I said, it gives permission for other women to get big around you. But here's the thing, is that as you get big, as you expand, some people, they will absolutely come with you. And some people might exit stage left, or they might continue on in their journey in a different direction. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are leaving them behind or that they're leaving you behind. It just means that there's a fork in the road and each of you guys are going different directions in your own individual journey. And as that happens, now we're back to, oh gosh, like who's coming with me in the journey as I grow and expand? And as we grow and expand, we then have to get really intentional about, okay, what room am I in next? Because I'm going to face problems. Like it's inevitable that I'm going to face problems. And if I know that I'm literally am created for community, if I know that for me as a woman, that sometimes that John Maxwell talks about in his 16 laws of, or his 16 undeniable laws of communication. If you haven't read that book, highly recommend it, get it. But one of the laws of collaboration is he says that some of your best ideas will actually come from other people. And I know for me, I have absolutely experienced that. And it's because sometimes in my business, I get too close. I get too in the weeds. I am so focused in on the details and the whatever, and I get lost and I can't see sometimes above, above the clouds. And I actually need other people. I need their perspective. I need the ideas or the perspective or their experience, the knowledge that they have from their journey in order for me to move forward faster. Could I do it alone? Absolutely. Like I'm sure you could too. But we're not made for it, especially for us as women. We are literally created for community. And I think when we can get this concept that even if we're growing, yes, again, some people will veer off into a different direction. But when we know where we're headed, then we can actually be really, really intentional about getting around other people that are going in the same direction. And this looks like getting into growth containers. This looks like getting around mentors who have what you have or have a unique perspective that you need. They have been a little further ahead of you in the journey or a lot further ahead of you in the journey that you are willing to invest in yourself, bet on you so that you can become that one with strength, so that you can expand, so that you can step into this and own that evolution, that expansion of where you're being called to be and of who you are remembering that you are. I love this concept of remembering because I think so many times we are in this space of, okay, I'm growing and expanding and I have to envision my future self and I've never been there before. But you know what? What if you're actually just shedding another layer of maybe some old limiting beliefs or some habits, some whatever it might have been from that last season? There are parts of you that can't come with you into that next season of where you're being called to go. So you actually have to confront those parts. And then there's actually this embodiment process and this remembering process. It looks a little messy in between. It looks a little bit like failing forward. It feels uncomfortable because, man, you haven't done that thing before. You haven't shown up this way. You haven't been this visible. You haven't done that habit. I know for me right now, as we are scaling at a more rapid pace, I have actually had to get a lot more clear on the numbers and on allowing the data to help me make educated decisions moving forward, to look at, okay, what's converting, what's not converting, what chapters are doing better than others, how are we looking at this, how can we pour into the directors and the leaders that maybe their chapters are struggling to grow, maybe they're not hitting some of those KPIs, maybe they're not doing some of those, right, those key performance indicators that we see and that we know and that we have tested that actually create success in a community and in a chapter. And how can we pour into those women? And then all of a sudden, okay, now we've got these other people killing it. They're doing amazing. But how do we take what they're doing and, right, because success leaves clues, and now bring these women together and fill the gap. Fill the gap of where someone might be compared to where they're going. And again, it's messy. it's the in-between, it's the messy in-between, but that's life, man. That's just life. So my encouragement for you is that if you are a woman in business, maybe you're a mom, maybe you are just doing life, but you're feeling alone. Like, we actually have literally an epidemic of loneliness right now in the world. And I know one of the things that I was created for was to really help cultivate connection and community. And my mission has actually gotten bigger. Again, what started as a little seed of, man, because I wanted modern, like-minded women in business and in community, not kind of the boring beige conference rooms and bad 30-second stories and all that stuff from the 1990s, right? Like, I actually want like modern women in business to be surrounded by and to have like do business, to do life together. And it has looked like, as I started this thing, as I got big, it created now space for, yes, women in business to be seen, heard, and known and to belong. And now chapter directors and regional directors and leaders to step up into positions and onto stages and into leadership spaces and into community building, so that they can then get big and step up and allow other women to step up too, right? So it's this really amazing expansion of everyone around us. So as we get big, it actually forces other people, as if not forces, but actually invites them into more expansion and into getting bigger. But I feel like I am on this incredible mission to create healthy community, to create genuine connection from a place of having actually really been hurt, but now being healed. Because like I said, hurt people, but healed people, heal people. So maybe you're finding that if you are scared to get involved in community, or you have been hurt by other women, or maybe you know you're meant to lead from the front of the community, maybe you, like me, have been hurt by other women and you are healed too. There's now this beautiful invitation to not just get in community, but let community get into you. Come and be a part of Business and Bubbly. There is a seat at the table for you. We have our in-person chapters. If you want to lead an in-person community, go to our website, find where you can apply to be a chapter director, or come and be a part of our virtual chapter. There is a seat at the table for you, but you have to be able to see the seat and pull up a chair, right? Or have a seat in the chair. All right, my friends, that is what we have for today. Make sure you tune in next time. And as always, cheers to your success.